I love that we do these, we set levels. We've gotten less and less formal about it. We used to be so careful, and we'd sit down, we'd make a big deal, and we'd set our levels super carefully. And now, you're like standing with a pastry hanging out of your mouth.
Don't even put the cigarette out. It's just like an apple fritter in one hand and a mic in the other.
So loose now.
Yeah.
And welcome back.
I'm very happy to be back.
Yes.
We've learned a lot during our time away.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think you can give me shit for my dick jokes anymore.
Why is that?
Obama literally made a dick joke on stage at the DNC. If the DNC really wants to get current with the times, why are we still using gavels? They should just replace it with like an air horn. Like that's how they should do it. It should be air horn to air horn. Like we're in Ibiza at some sort of, rave.
Do we gavel in at the beginning? Because I don't remember seeing the thing start with the gavel in and gavel out.
I'll tell you, if you fucking air horned it though, if you had like DJ Cassidy out there air horning it on the way in and out, I would 100% watch the opening and closing ceremonies of the DNC.
Quiet, please.
Where he's just like, let's get ready to rumble.
In 4.
Make it fun. Why are we banging
3,
the gavel? What is this?
2.
Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense Season 2, Episode 30. I'm Jeff Parker.
I am CJ Little.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, since we've been away for the past couple of weeks, we'll catch up on the world.
Well, you've been away. I've been here slaving away at this show.
Really?
No, it's not true. I've been fucking off.
It's Individual Rights Day. John Locke was an English philosopher popularly known as the father of liberalism. Born on August 29th, 1632, he was among the most influential thinkers of his time and strongly advocated individual liberty and rights. Ergo, here are 5 facts about human rights. You ready?
I'm ready.
The United Nations proclaimed internet access a fundamental human right in 2011.
Yes, but that's a little misleading. While they proclaimed internet access a fundamental right, they didn't specify how. So I think it's just like 56K is
dial-up.
Dial-up.
300 baud dial-up.
They haven't really caught up with the times.
Everyone is entitled to paid leisure and vacation time.
Again, there's a footnote on that. It says, unless you're an American, we want you to just work yourself to death.
That's true.
Yeah.
Compared to every other country.
Yep.
The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, drafted by a UN committee chaired by Eleanor Roosevelt, is available in 370 languages, making it one of the most translated documents in the world.
First of all, I didn't think there were 370 languages.
I didn't either.
But they never translated the JavaScript.
They will.
If you write JavaScript, you don't deserve any human rights, I think is their point. That's what they're saying indirectly.
In 2014, more than a third of the world's governments imprisoned individuals for exercising freedom of speech.
Yeah, and in 2025, we might be one of those.
Prior to 2,500 years ago, the concept of human rights emerged in what is now Iraq. They also created algebra, irrigation systems, time measurement, and the wheel.
Okay, so this is fascinating. So it's 2,500 years ago, and this is such a random grab bag of potpourri things where they're just like, all right, we're going to do some math.
It's not like they focused on travel.
No.
They're all over the place.
It's like, we're going to do some math, we're going to do sprinklers, clocks, and how about the wheel? We're going to do those 4 things.
Probably not in that order.
You think the wheel came first?
Yeah.
I think before you get to the math or the sprinklers, I just want some good kebabs.
How is your week going?
My week?
No, someone else's week. Who else is here?
I don't know. Am I reporting on someone else's week? My week is I'm not exaggerating when I say this. It is fucking glorious because this week, it's my week of salvation.
What does that mean? You found Jesus.
I found Jesus. Jesus drives a big yellow bus and takes my fucking kids to school. I've dropped them off at the bus, and I'm very excited to have my days back. I don't have kids yelling at me to type shit in Minecraft for them or ask them how to Google use an armor stand or armor trim or recipe books or some other shit, which, by the way, makes me smile every time. Now, I'm a free man during the day, but it's just for now because I know what's going to happen. I've seen this pattern. One of them's going to get sick, right? They're going to get some germs from their little friends at school. Then they're going to get me sick, and then we're all sick. And it's just this cycle of little kid life.
It's the circle of bacteria life. I think that should be a song.
I am helping propagate trillions of bacterial species. Anyway, that's my week of us being back. How about yours?
Dropped the kiddo off at college.
Oh boy, that's a bigger deal.
First of all, I spent the entire week texting all my friends. And we were chatting about the different ways our parents dropped us off at college and things they said to us and things they did. One of my friends, his father gave him a $20 bill. And he said, with my newfound wealth that night, I took my friends out to Taco Bell. Which I thought was so sweet.
I'm assuming he got changed. Otherwise, he'd still be eating that food today. $20 at Taco Bell. That's a lot of food.
You can feed all of Africa.
They don't even take
Taco
paper
Bell.
bills there. I'm pretty sure it's just change.
Sure.
I also love the differences between dropping off what I presume, your kid versus when you got dropped off. Because when you got dropped off, did they bring the extra horse back with them? Or did you ride on the horse with them? How did that?
My parents stayed for about a week, and that's longer than you need to stay. I also stayed for about a week, and it's still longer than you need to stay, although mostly my kid and I saw each other less and less as the week progressed because he had things he actually had to do.
You weaned him off?
Yeah, he had orientations and things he had to go to, and we finally had a final meal together. But when my parents were there, it was like, I can't miss you if you won't leave.
So, at some point, you've got to go home.
Yeah. The very end, the goodbye, I'd gotten tons of advice, good advice from you. Thank you very much for pitching in for people for what to say, the final things to say to him, the final pieces of advice to give to him. And it was full of tears and hugging and laughter, pauses, and then the whole thing would circle around and start again. And it was just lovely. It was everything you want in that moment.
I bet. That's awesome.
It was really fun.
I'm going to come back to this episode in 12 years when we're in season 14 and see if what I tell you now is going to hold true. Okay. I presume when I drop my children off at college, I'm assuming it'll be either a clown college or barber college or something like that. I'm going to like install like noisemakers, like the little like Anoyatrons in the room. Like I'm going to just be pranking them entirely. I presume they're going to find most of them because it's not like it's going to be the first time I do it.
That's another approach.
Yeah, my children are, they're going to be immune to these sorts of things.
In their dorm room, you're going to do that?
I mean, I think that would be pretty goddamn funny just to have like a little like Anoyatron thing that makes a noise. But there's no way I'm making it until college before I deploy an Anoyatron on them. There's no way I'm making it that long.
You did one on your brother, didn't you?
No.
Still not admitting to it, are you?
I no habla inglés. ¿Cómo se dice éxito? ¿Dónde está éxito? I think is what I meant to say.
Let us get to our headlines.
Some things should remain secret.
I got to start with some errata. We talked about Google, and you and I both poo-pooed the idea that the judge will break them up. We were saying,
Whoopsies.
They'll give them a fine or whatever because that's what the EU does.
Yeah.
We don't do that in the US. We said they'll make them share their data.
Yep.
That's a possibility. No, the one thing they're never going to do is break them up. Guess what? The one thing the judge is going after hard, he wants to break them up.
So I looked into this. It turns out that judge listens to our show and was just really pissed off. It's like, fuck these guys. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to break up a multi-trillion-dollar company because these two clowns said I wouldn't do it.
It's not one. He's going after Ticketmaster Live Nation, and I think he wants to. This is the Justice Department. It's not the judge.
Sure.
They want to break up Live Nation, Ticketmaster as well.
Yes.
Okay. So enough with the errata. The DOJ wants to actually fully break these people up. So we're going to have a segment at some point where we talk about what that means, because that's big. It's complicated. This is going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. I don't think Robert's Supreme Court is going to break up anything.
I don't know. This is still left field to me. I feel like we're going to be doing a whole episode on this. Let's talk about breakups that have happened in the past, right? Like Standard Oil and Ma Bell.
That's what we should do. That's really what we should do, because the history is interesting.
I mean, it does seem like when you go to a long enough time scale, you get these big monopolies, they get broken up, and then they ultimately just gobble each other back up and get really close, not monopoly size, but like really close to 2 or 3 providers. Right. And then they just sort of stay there. So you still sort of have the same problem, just a little smaller.
Well, not in a monopolistic way. I mean, it's a duopoly or
multiopoly.
What's 3?
Triopoly. Yeah, I had that once. Itched like hell.
Oh yeah. Does penicillin clear that up?
No, I'm allergic.
Oh,
just Benadryl.
Cox Media Group, speaking of penicillin, was advertising a service. I'm so sorry. That claimed it had targeted ads based on what potential customers said near devices' microphones.
This is fucking terrible.
We've talked about this a lot, and you and I both have poo-pooed the idea that anyone is listening on your microphone for advertising purposes. And here Cox Media is advertising that they do it.
So this was a deck that was found, and someone, I think it was 404 Media, broke the deck that said these guys are pitching to potential advertisers that they are listening to their customers' conversations passively, and then they can target them. This deck gets leaked. The deck, by the way, looked terrible. It looked like somebody halfway through grad school made it, which I guess is normal.
All decks look terrible.
I was going to say, well, no, some look really good. This one did not. Google promptly kicked them off their partner program, which I thought was a strong move. Everybody else, at least as the time of this recording, has been like, well,
because Google said, don't tell anybody. That was their point.
First rule of Advertiser Club is don't talk about Advertiser Club. Yeah, totally.
You don't say the quiet part out loud.
Totally. Google was like, new phone, who dis? Don't know. We're going to just dump those guys off. They're like, advertising? No, we don't do that.
No idea what those people are talking about.
Yeah, just accelerating the breakup. This is kind of nuts. I'll tell you, my first read on this is they're either doing this on their own devices or they're postulating doing this to see how interesting it is.
What devices do Cox Media have?
All those OTT boxes. All those, the OTT and tabletop boxes, the thing you plug into cable. That's a lot of boxes.
Those have microphones?
They might. Think about microphone and cogs. It's not very high.
Yeah.
Every TV I've bought in the past 5 years has a microphone on it. You can tell it what to do.
My DirecTV boxes in a cupboard, all of them are tucked away.
Yeah. So instead of hearing, I'd like to buy an air fryer, it hears, I want to buy an air fryer. It still fucking hears it. It just hears it mumbled. So it's in a box. You know how sound works? It just goes through.
I was saying it mumbled anyway because I had my mouth full of whatever I was eating when I was saying it, I'm sure.
That's true. They're like, this guy wants air fryers and oatmeal because that's what was in his mouth that he was chewing when this happened. I mean, this is super interesting. They have since pulled this down and scrubbed their website and social media of any mention of this. It's a terrible idea. I got to believe anybody with a reasonable market cap is not going to touch us with a 10-foot pole. Because
they're all going to just run for the hills getting away from these people, even if they do it themselves.
What's incredible to me is that apparently Cox Media really wanted to take the world's worst company away from Comcast and Spectrum. And they just,
and they did it quick.
They're like, hey, well, hold our beer. Watch this.
In one headline,
in addition to shitty rates and fucking data caps, we're not going to listen to everything that you say. Like, oh, good job. Thanks, guys.
Okay, apparently not enough with the headlines. Up next, we're going to talk about a couple of astronauts stuck in space. Telegram CEO was arrested and now released. Semaglutide, the drug behind Ozempic and Wegovy, may be causing users to have suicidal thoughts.
Oh, man, as if these poor fat people don't have enough problems.
Also, Martin Shkreli's back in the news.
I would much rather talk about Elon. I feel like Martin just started off as a...
How do we rip off people who need medication?
He was like if you had some like a B-list version of Scooby-Doo, he was like one of the villains. He was like a one-episode villain from like Scooby-Doo. Whereas like Elon is like more like Darth Vader.
Let's go talk about it. Come on. CJ,
hi.
You've been gone, I've been gone, we've been on vacation, but it turns out the world did not stop.
Nor miss us.
But I thought we'd look at some of the stories that we've missed. There are actually some really big things that happen.
And happening.
Not as timely as the headlines we just did, but headlines nonetheless that we should address.
We would have to do this less if you didn't keep going to islands in the South Pacific.
Any self-respecting tech show would have covered these stories, but we weren't on the air at the time. So
yeah, and also lack self-respect.
We got to talk about Boeing's Starliner.
Yes.
The astronauts.
Doesn't work. Next question.
Poor Boeing. Nothing is working right for Boeing.
Jesus, I feel like this is like remember when the Ford Explorers kept flipping over in the 2000s?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's the Boeing run they're on right now.
And obviously it's a problem that happened from management.
Sure.
Boeing had built the spacecraft that could take astronauts up to the International Space Station.
Couldn't get them home.
And then supposed to be able to bring them home.
One-way trip. No, that wasn't part of the design consideration. They said, it's just one way. We're going to get you there.
There are problems with the thrusters.
Yeah.
And so they're afraid to bring it back. Now, if there's an emergency and they have to leave the International Space Station, they'll jump into that thing and they'll drive it back home.
Yeah, of course. If your option is no oxygen and die in space, you're going to take, of course.
So it's there, it's parked, it's connected, and they can get into it if they have to. But it has been decided by NASA that that's not going to be how they come home.
Yeah, I think NASA actually said, treat it like a Tesla. You might get where you're going. You might not.
Well, even worse, they're going to come home on a Tesla.
Well,
SpaceX.
I know.
Crew 9 is how they're going to get home.
Well, that's the current plan. We still have a lot of time between now and when Crew 9 ships.
It was supposed to be an 8-day mission. It was the launch date was postponed by a month. There were two postponements, and then it was going to be 8 days they were in space.
Yep.
So that was 11 weeks ago.
That was
11 weeks ago.
Totally.
They told their family and friends, of course I'll be back for Susie's birthday. I'm only going up for 8 days.
Totally.
11 weeks later, they're still there. And now we have just found out they're going to be there for another 6 months.
I know. So, I mean, first of all, how do they get their teeth cleaned?
I got so many questions for.
There's a lot of questions.
I mean, also because there's not as much gravity, so obviously you have health issues.
Less tartar.
Yeah, they do have to do special exercises and things to keep
but that's
themselves.
resolved, right? I mean, because everybody in the space station is doing that. You just have a workout routine. They've got all sorts of equipment you can use in space Peloton or whatever. That doesn't concern me.
Do you get the same Peloton coaches in space? Do you get the exact same?
Except they're wearing a suit. They're all wearing like a space suit. I'm not so worried about that. I mean, my wife she was like, oh, this is terrible. They're stuck in space for so long. I'm like, I cannot imagine a better place to get stuck than in space.
I can. Oahu.
No.
Oahu.
No.
Yeah, it's
Come
nicer.
on. You can count on basically our hands and fingers all the people that have been in space.
I know, but that's part of the problem. I mean, everybody says, would you go to Mars if you had the opportunity to climb into a rocket right now and go to Mars? Would you go to Mars? No. I'm kind of thinking Los Angeles is a little bit small. I want to go to Manhattan. I can't imagine going. I can't imagine going to Mars where there's 6 other people.
Sure.
That sounds awful.
Well, okay, it probably is awful, but I would happily get stuck in space for all. First of all, my kids aren't yelling at me every day, so that's a bonus.
Oh, no. They can still FaceTime you.
Sorry, Daddy's in the dark side of the moon.
These people are not without communication options.
Look, there are worse places to get stuck. I'm not so worried. I don't think a lot about the negative impact on the 2 astronauts. I think it's Williams and Wilmore.
It's the other astronauts.
It's the other
in
astronauts.
The International Space
It's got to be like
Station.
when your in-laws come over and you're like, stay as long as you want, meaning leave in a fucking week. And then they're,
Yeah, exactly.
It's been like 11 weeks and they're like,
never more than 3 days.
God damn it. If Butch never puts the fucking toilet seat down and if Butch doesn't do this again, I swear to God, I'm going to kick him out of this fucking airlock as soon as I can. That's got to be the hard part, right?
Sure,
is they've
sure,
just
sure.
overstayed their welcome. Meanwhile, the other astronauts, they all have missions.
Important
things have been
scientific
assigned
projects
to them.
they
Yeah,
have to do. Yes,
they're
of
doing
course.
stuff. And like Butch is like testing how to roll up boogers in space. Like, come on, man. Like,
You
can
do
you
eventually
please
run
help
out of
out?
what you are scheduled to do.
Can you go
Yes.
dust? Can you please go dust something? Can you do anything helpful for this fucking commune that we're living in here?
I think they actually are helping the other scientists.
They've gotta
I
be
believe,
trying.
I
And-
believe they are trying to make themselves useful.
My hunch is it's actually the opposite. They're trying to help so much that that's becoming annoying, right? Where they're just like, is there anything we can do to help? And they're just like, look, this is a one-person experiment. I can't. What do you want from me? They're just like trying to make breakfast every morning, like waking up before everybody, being like, I got bacon and eggs.
Not again.
Yeah, exactly. This is really interesting. I mean, first of all, talking about Boeing, I think you and I both agree that Boeing's got a bunch of excellent engineers.
That's the heartbreaking part.
Yeah. So, like, to me, this isn't a Boeing engineering problem. It might be a Boeing management or Boeing execution problem overall. I do like, though, that NASA has pretty openly said, look, we've lost 2 shuttles in the past because information wasn't allowed to bubble to the surface.
Right.
And they don't say this, but I think they're implying this. We're trying to fix that.
Good on them.
With extreme caution. They don't want 2 astronauts to jump in this.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right thing. And if it's at no real risk to the other people that are on the space station, great. That's the right thing to do.
The space station is not small, by the way. It's not like they're crammed into tiny, tiny little quarters.
Well, it's not big. It's not the fucking Four Seasons. Like, it's not like they're in like a separate like wing. Like, you're still going to see them, right? Like, if Butch has flatulence, you're still going to know.
Oh, for sure.
It doesn't matter what part of this. God damn it. Butch is just, I don't know why I'm beating up on Butch so much. I'm sure he's a lovely human. But Butch Wilmore, apparently, I'm just like making the fart jokes and rolling up boogers. I don't know what else.
Suni, however, is perfect. She's never done
Suni's great.
She's never done anything wrong in her life.
Suni's, she's lovely, but Butch, I mean, look, his name's Butch. Like, come on.
Sure.
Do you think he had a limited amount of Coors Light that he brought up with him and he's like smashing the cans on his forehead? Like, he's just, anyway, so they're going to be there, I think, until what, February, when Crew 9, so the plan is
February 2025. By the way, Crew 8,
Yep.
they could come home on Crew 8,
Yep.
but they would have to be unsuited.
they'd also have to be cargo.
Yes.
That's the equivalent of me being like, look, man, I can drive you home from the Sequoias, but I got to strap you on the roof.
Right, or you got to be in the trunk.
Like a deer.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be an elk on the roof. Okay, so it sounds like you've read this. The Crew 8 return path is for them to be loaded onto a cargo pallet.
A pallet, yeah.
On like some foam.
Right.
With no suits, which they wouldn't need. They're just like, what are they going to like ratchet strap them down? Like, I don't understand. What are they going to do? It just sounds terrible.
Just to be clear for the audience, Crew 8 has already launched. It's already up.
Oh, they're
there.
docked. They're there.
Right, they're docked.
Yeah.
That's why they can't add additional suits into Crew 8. It's already there.
Yeah.
Crew 9 is the first opportunity they will have to take up 2 empty spacesuits so they can get back.
So the plan would be for Crew 9, which would normally be a 4-man mission, a 4-person mission, to send it up with 2 people and 2 empty suits.
We should explain.
And then you throw Butch and Suni.
They went up to the space station with Boeing suits.
Yep.
These suits are not cross-compatible. So if you go in a Boeing vehicle up to space, you need to be in the Boeing suit.
Yeah.
If you come back in the Tesla, you need to be in the Tesla suit, SpaceX.
It's kind of like if you remember when you used to, like, you'd fly on an international flight, you were very excited, you had your own TV, and then you went to plug in your normal 3.5 millimeter headphones, and you realize they've got this weird double mono 2-prong fucking weird thing. So you had to use theirs and get lice. Like, that's basically what, like, that was the trade-off. You'd be like, you can either not watch Stripes or you can watch Stripes and get lice. Like, that was your choice.
For me, it was listening to the comedians. I loved listening to the comedians. That was my favorite thing about getting on the plane. It was a whole comedian channel.
Oh, yeah. That was just you talking to yourself.
It was great.
But I also loved when there was only, remember when there's only like one screen every 15 rows?
Oh, yeah.
And you all just looked up and just like the screen was smaller from your vantage point than you holding up your iPhone today.
For sure.
Like, we have come a long way. And now
for sure,
we're on flights and people are like, the internet doesn't work. And it's like, shut the fuck up. You've got a goddamn screen in front of you with whatever you want on, and you're bitching that the internet doesn't work at 30,000 feet. Get off the plane.
Can I mention, having just flown to Indiana, the internet works beautifully on
Does it work beautifully?
On the planes now. It's fantastic.
Not in Indiana, though, because Indiana, much like Ohio, has that 5-day latency
lag,
filter. Yeah, where everything comes in
Actually,
5 days late.
And I'm going to go against everything you believe right now, and I'm going to say, in the Graduate Hotel in Bloomington, Indiana, our internet connection was solid. It was great.
This is the same place that wants to approximate pi as 3. Is that correct?
They did.
Yeah, I'm sure their internet was great.
They did a while back. I'm hoping they're not still trying to do that.
A while back. By the way, not like when Euclidean was coming up with this. He didn't seems like
Archimedes
20 years ago, right? Was it Euclid that came up with pi? Who came up with pi? I don't know. I'm assuming it was Euclid, but he definitely was not from Indiana because they were just like,
back to the space station.
These people are stuck there for a while. I think it's kind of lovely. You're making lemonade out of lemons, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But
they're not newbies to space. They've both been in space before. She holds this record, I think, for female second longest number of spacewalks, most accumulated hours.
Oh, wow.
Of spacewalks. Really? Yeah, she's not a novice at all. He's not either.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you think they're just giving them like meaningless, like this like low level task? Okay, you know what? Go scrape the barnacles off the space station. And Butch is like, there are no barnacles.
We're not in an ocean, dude.
Just fucking get out there. I told you what to goddamn do, Butch. Just get out there and scrub the barnacles.
I don't think they're walking. I don't think they're going out. I think they're just literally, yeah, they're growing plants.
They're growing plants?
And I say plants in quotes perhaps because maybe they're so bored they're growing those kinds of plants. Who knows? But they're actually literally growing plants.
Butch brought up some marijuana seeds.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case.
Because you never know if you're going to get stuck. You got to pass a lot of time.
There's like the one camera on the cultivation garden that he's just turned a little tiny bit to the right. Hey, Butch, what's out of frame? Nothing.
I don't know what's wrong with that camera. It keeps moving. The bolt must be broken.
I mean, good for them. If you're in the space station and you are just getting super high, I don't even know what kind of trip you're going to have. It's going to be crazy. If you're like, oh man, I woke up, I thought I was in space last night. And then you actually are in space. When you're in space and you take a lot of drugs, because when we do it on the ground, we say we're going to space.
Right.
Does he take a bunch of drugs and be like, I'm going to Indiana?
I'm going to Earth.
And that's what happens. He just starts visualizing things. I don't know. It's funny to me.
They're actually really, truly growing plants. That's one of the things they're doing while they're extending their stay.
I mean, multi-billion-dollar missions, and they're growing plants.
There's a woman in Beverly Hills who has a very large lot. She actually has legitimate businesses that grow fruit. Okay. She is growing the world's most expensive oranges on her Beverly Hills property.
I believe it.
Linda Resnick.
I kind of like they're going to taste much better.
They probably taste worse.
You know what's going to happen? I bet you half of those oranges end up getting fucking YouTube channels and become influencers, and I got to deal with Orange Co. channels. And
they own the Franklin Mint. They own Palm Wonderful. They're interesting people. Wonderful pistachio.
Oh, the actual brand Wonderful, not just describing them as wonderful. In reading about this, by the way, this being the folks that are stuck from the Starliner up on the space station, my favorite thing that I came across was a headline that referred to NASA's plan as, quote, the clown car plan.
Well, sure.
Which I thought was fascinating.
You got to pile a lot of people into this thing and bring them home, and they're going to come out. It's going to be a clown car.
The SpaceX Dragons were, I guess, designed initially for up to 7 people, for 7 astronauts to be in them. They're running them with crews of 4. So it's not like this wasn't thought about previously. And NASA has paid SpaceX for a sort of an order to figure out what might be another solution. I think they paid them like whatever, $100,000 to figure out how to do this and bring them back, which I think again is net positive. Those Dragons were initially built, I think, to replace the Soyuz when they had Soyuz problems, right? So they wanted this extra crew to be able to come back when they thought they couldn't return on the Soyuz, the Russian Soyuz.
They have taken 2 people out of the crew of Crew 9, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So there will be 2 literally just empty seats that would have otherwise been filled.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Those people got fucked.
Right. They're flying empty suits.
Well, I don't know. I mean, is it an empty suit or they put like remember the autopilot from Airplane? Maybe they put that in there.
The inflatable.
You don't want to get wrinkled.
Inflatable pilot.
They just inflate them. Yeah, just a little inflatable pilot. This is a fascinating story. I think it's getting. I mean, look, it's not helping Boeing at all. I would rather have Boeing have this really wide gap of ability to solve this problem. Boeing will figure this out. They will make the Starliner work. I am certain of this.
I don't know. It's hard to make it work remotely. It's not like you can fly a lot of extra parts up to it easily.
No, I don't mean on this one. They may. I mean, look, at some point, this thing probably comes back to Earth in one piece.
Autonomously.
It might be empty. Yeah, it might be empty. Well, it might not be autonomous. It might be remote control.
These things absolutely do fly autonomously.
Oh yeah, I guess you can't get radio contact
during a re-entry.
Going on re-entry.
Exactly,
yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
But my thought is maybe when they're flying up those 2 empty spacesuits, they should just put in like one of those FedEx return labels, slap that on the side, and just make it FedEx's problem.
That's all you need.
Pick up 1 ISS way.
Yeah.
Just go get it. And then, hey, FedEx will figure it out. Or if it fits, it ships, right? Isn't that UPS or USPS?
How many ports does the International Space Station have for docking ships? Because they currently have 2 attached.
I believe so.
At least 2.
Yeah, but the current ones are all USB-A. So the new ones... Isn't that basically what's happening with the spacesuits?
You have to turn the spaceship around 3 times before you can actually get it to connect.
Yeah, it tries to dock. It's like, fuck. And it's like, turn 180 degrees. Fuck. Turn it again. That's a good question. I mean, there's got to be at least 1 more because they're planning on bringing up the Crew 9.
How many ports did they plan for this thing to have? I mean, that's pretty cool.
God, I love Google. I type in how many DO for docking ports, and it completes docking ports on ISS.
That's awesome.
There are 4 docking ports for the Russian segment and 4 berthing ports for the U.S. segment.
What's the difference between a docking port and a berthing port?
The Russian segment has 4 docking ports on the Zvezda.
Also,
ISS has docking
what
ports.
is different between the Russian docking ports and the U.S. docking ports?
Oh, that's you know what that answer is.
Just the docking instructions are in Russian?
No. The Russians are in metric and the US's are all in fucking inches.
Oh, that's awful. I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true.
Usually, I believe most all of space now is metric, but I'm sure NASA worked in something because of some Byzantine law passed in the Carter administration that requires us to have...
In Indiana, about pi being
8%.
3.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Like, must be in inches per square gallon. And you're like, fuck. Square gallon doesn't make any sense.
I know, but I liked it.
So it looks like the answer might be around 8.
Okay, so we got
4 and 4.
So as long as Russia's not using all of their ports, we still have 2 open ports. So we're okay.
I mean, this ISS is like, it's just a bunch of extra parts that just all got glued together.
Have you seen what it looks like? I mean, it literally looks like somebody just...
It looks like Tinker Toys. Like,
have you ever seen when they pour metal into an ant hole?
Looks like that when it comes out.
And then the metal hardens and dries, whatever. I'm sure it's, Ant-Mageddon, all the ants get burned.
Sure.
The metal hardens and they pull the shape out and you get to see what the ant city looks like.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of these connecting things with little rooms, and it's amazing. That's pretty much what the International Space Station looks like.
Bunch of little rooms. Sorry, ants. It's for science.
Whatever you call that.
Sorry, guys. I love how you called Armageddon. I'm like, I'm not sure that's how Armageddon works.
Ant-Mageddon.
I'm not sure it's Ant-Mageddon because, we're doing it to them.
Hot metal is coming at them while they're in their own little home.
Yeah. In their own little home.
I'm going to put a YouTube video link to show you what this looks like. It's really amazing.
I've seen some of them. It's super cool.
Yeah.
The word Armageddon, though, is not applied correctly. Maybe genocide might be the word you're looking for.
All right. Whatever
when
you
you
want.
pour metal. What? Okay. Tomato.
You decide.
Sure. What's the difference? They're ants. There's like trillions of them on the planet. We're okay.
That doesn't feel great if you're Bobby the ant.
No, of course it doesn't. It literally feels hot.
Yes, exactly. You really do get burned.
But they're ants. Like, I'm okay stepping on ants. Like, they're ants.
Individually, it's awful.
Yeah, of course it's
Collectively,
awful.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's awful for the cow that I'm going to eat later tonight. I have thumbs.
Oh my God, you're such a thumb bully. Is there anything else we need to mention about this story about being stuck at the space station?
I mean, I just can't get over thinking about it as a clown car when they land and it's just like extra people getting out. They didn't even know we're on the ISS. They're like, Neil Armstrong? What are you doing? How the fuck did you get up there? And he's just like, hey, you forgot about me. It's like some paperwork that was like long lost. Like, I thought you were dead. Nope. Just living on. That's what it is. Up there, you've got like Elvis, sure. Michael Jackson. It's just a whole, like, this is their chance to get home. Just a whole bunch. Henry Ford's up there. Who knew? Just sitting on the ISS, hanging out.
Grab them all in the spaceship and let's get them home.
Anyway, I am fascinated by this. I am very proud of NASA's approach. I think this is the right thing.
Yes.
And I'm also glad that it's going to be almost certainly a U.S. company that brings them home.
It is a crushing blow to Boeing. I mean, that sucks, absolutely, but it is the right decision. Always err on the side of caution.
I like this stuff getting stacked up on Boeing so they can really have a rethink.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see Boeing going away. There's nobody else making commercial.
Right, it's too useful.
I guess Northrop could throw their hat in the ring and build something like this. It'd take years. But like, I want there to be still U.S. airplanes.
Yes.
Basically, the only other person to make them other than Boeing would be Amazon. And I'm not really crazy about getting an Amazon airplane right now. Could you imagine? Like, we make everything else.
Sure.
Why not airplanes? Anyway, yeah, okay. We're gonna get this sorted. I'm gonna say that this plan will be in effect. They'll be home in February. It's
late February. Don't pack your stuff early February. There's no need. Yeah. Late February.
Okay, first of all, if Butch and Suni are getting their information from us on when to come home, let me suggest Butch and Suni, please turn to a different station. This is not where you should be getting. They're like, but those two assholes on nonsense said we're going home in February. What's wrong? This is an unplanned stay for them, right?
Yeah.
Are they asking Crew 9 to bring up anything for them? Like, what do you think they're missing? Is a guy like Butch is just like, I want some jerky. Just bring me some fucking beef jerky.
Things that you've missed from Earth. We do send cargo up rather regularly. They are getting pallets of food and things. The thing's well stocked. They're not going to starve.
Crew 9 is supposed to be up there for 180 days.
Oh, wow. So Crew 9 must be going up fairly soon then.
It's supposed to be going up in September.
That makes a lot more sense.
The planned dock date is September 25th.
So yes, you definitely want some things brought up from home. For sure you want things brought up from home.
You would think. Maybe some more quote unquote plant seeds.
Could you bring me some more seeds?
We would like some mushrooms for our omelets, please. You know which ones.
We got a lot of time to kill up here.
That's what it says. This is basically Breaking Bad Space Edition is what it's become. That's fantastic. This is going to be interesting. I think we have a lot to talk about.
Telegram messaging app. The guy who started it. Pavel Durov. Started this thing. It's called Telegram. It's very popular. It is the seventh most popular social network.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. It's really high up there. He's got nearly 1 billion users. He's got 900 million users. He has been arrested. Outside of Paris. Shortly after landing on a private jet on Saturday. And placed into custody because
he said Italian bread was better than French bread.
Oh, that would get you
capital
arrested.
Offense.
No, he actually did no moderation or did limited moderation on Telegram, and there's no 230 in France, of course.
Of course, I learned a bunch about this that I didn't know. I don't pay attention to Telegram. I have always assumed, I don't know if this is accurate or not, that Telegram is just a giant propaganda machine for Russia, and that pretty much all of the quote keys for their encryption just go straight to the Kremlin when you create them. I've presumed there is literally it is just their machine because they've always supported it and endorsed it. Why would they support
Russia
it?
has.
Yeah, Russia has.
Russia is supporting the free speech and they're saying that him being arrested is an outrage.
Yes, Russia, the big proponents of free speech.
But in all fairness, Pavel moved out of Russia.
Sure,
he moved away from Russia because they were pressuring him to get to give them keys.
Okay, that is one potential explanation. But the other thing that I learned is I didn't know that this guy now has a net worth of apparently $15 billion.
I think about $9 billion.
Bananas. But right. Okay, sure, with a few billion between friends. The point is a lot of fucking money. And I don't know of a lot of people with a lot of money that desired to go live in Russia. Usually they want to get out of Russia. The only ones that stay there with a lot of money are because they control
their oligarchies.
Industries that they have to be there. They're going to fucking leave and he's going to go to other places. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
So maybe he was pressured. Maybe that's just a cover story.
I believe he's in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah,
that's his citizenship now. He has dual citizenship with France
but he was coming from I think Azerbaijan when he landed in France. So anyway, this is super interesting to me. I don't know what they're looking for in Telegram. I don't know what France or the EU's laws are around policing and moderating content.
Crimes have been committed using the service, and since there's no 230 protection, in France, the service is potentially liable.
I don't know how that works. If I commit a crime using email in France, does that mean that Gmail is responsible? I don't know.
Gmail's different because you're not publicly posting things on these giant group chat things that Telegram has. You are making public posts, and so it does matter that those things are moderated. At least in the EU.
I kind of think about your friends, and when your friends that come out to oppose your being arrested in France are
Russia.
The Russia at large, right? The Russian lawmaker who spent 15 months in U.S. prison acting as a quote unregistered Russian agent, and then Uncle Elon. When that's your support, I'm like, maybe.
In all fairness, Durov is kind of a weird person anyway. Pavel Durov. Do you know anything about his?
I don't. You're going to tell me, aren't you?
He has hundreds of children.
Oh, he's one of those.
But no girlfriend. He's a sperm
seed
donor. Yes, he wants to open source his DNA. Is what he says.
Weird.
He's a weird man.
First of all, that doesn't work. You get all sorts of other problems that come with that.
Now, I think probably in the Sperm case, I think he's probably all over the planet. I don't think it's one neighborhood of Durovs.
Can you?
I hope
seed hundreds of children and not be a narcissist. Is that possible? Because those two things go together, right? It's required.
Sure.
There's a form on the way, and they got to check the narcissist box.
It's like a metal detector you have to walk through.
Sure.
And if you're not a narcissist, it goes off.
Maybe he just really likes to masturbate.
Okay.
Maybe he's like JD. He just got a fascination with cups. Little tiny cups.
Maybe.
Lids. Oh, I know what happened. This is it. He was sorting screws in his garage, as I've done.
Sure.
And he was like, you know what? I need some containers.
Sure.
And he went on to AliExpress and thought he ordered 5 containers for the screws. Turns out he ordered 500.
What are you going to do with the extras?
And now he's got all the containers, and he's like, what am I going to fill them with? And
you
he's
can't
like,
throw them away. That's a waste.
I got a very healthy prostate, so I'm just going to fill these up. This is beyond me. I think it's always, look, I have got 2 kids.
Yes.
And that's more than enough for the world. The world does not need more than 2 of me.
Let's backtrack here. I want to say, if people are confusing Telegram being like Signal, and would this happen to Signal?
Negative.
Signal is not a social media platform.
No.
They don't have open chat areas and things like that. Most of Telegram is not even encrypted. You have to select the encrypted option, and then the encryption is terrible on it. It was written by Pavel's brother.
Which is okay. Maybe not.
No, it's not. That's not how you do encryption.
Sure.
You want encryption to be tested and hammered and tried and before you put it into production, and that's just not the case here. So I would not trust this encryption at all.
You mean if the source code were, let's say, open?
It is not.
Exactly.
They want to say it is, so they open the source code to the client. But the client, if you look at the client carefully, barely does anything.
Well, what's in the decrypt?
Most of the work is being done on the server.
All the keys are printed and mailed to the Kremlin, I think is what happens.
I'm sure they're FedEx.
There's a mail room. And what is it? St. Basil's, the Basilica? What is it? St. Basil, what is it? The funny colored roofs?
St. Basil's, yes.
Delicious. They just send all the keys there and they're all stored. I've never trusted Telegram at all.
I'm sure it's pronounced Basel, and I'm saying Basil because I like Basil.
Basil's better than Basel?
Well, I would go to St. Tarragon. Wouldn't you?
I prefer St. Basil. Tarragon's fine. Basil, I'll just eat Basil.
Someday, if you want to really entertain yourself, go and look at the source code of Telegram, of the client, because they don't give you the server.
Is it terrible?
Oh, my word.
Really?
It's spaghetti code, like after spaghetti code. And I'm sure there's some rigatoni code in there. I mean, it goes on and on. There are methods that are 300 lines long.
That's a long method.
Yeah.
I did.
Like, guys, organize your code. Come on.
I did have a professor in school that mandated that no function could be longer than 24 lines. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That might be a little extreme. And some functions are simple.
Well, what are you stuck in 80 by 25? What are you doing?
Right.
Like, come on.
Right.
And then you end up with a big chain of functions. You can't fit all the logic for a logical segment into necessarily 24 lines.
Right.
300 lines is not the method length I would like to see. I'd like to see a shorter method than that.
Penne arrabbiata code. That's what it is. I'm pretty sure.
Like you're just going down the menu at Spago's. Just like, hey, it's a Cacio de Pepe. Hey.
Anyway, so he's we're going to see what happens to him. He could be in real trouble.
Who, Pavel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're a $15 billion French nationalist. I think they're just saying fix stuff up. The 100 kids thing, though, it's just weird.
I'd love to have 100 kids. Like, they don't even have to be related to me. I'd like to have 100 relatives who like hanging out with me. I love relatives. Look, I think it's so fun when my relatives come over.
It is, although I will say my wife has, 60 relatives. We hang out a couple times a year.
You get enough of them?
Good for about 5 days. Then I'm ready to go home. Yeah. You people all fucking crazy. Time to go.
My dad just turned 90, and so we all went up and had a big party for my dad.
That's awesome.
I never get to see these people, and I just absolutely love these people. It's so much fun. I would love it if we would all meet up somewhere.
Do it. Organize it.
Experts call for urgent scrutiny after weight loss drugs are linked to suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Semaglutide, a drug sold under the brand names Ozempic and Wegovy, is associated with suicidal thoughts, according to a news study.
Look, I have made my decision, and my decision is fat and happy.
Well, if that's the option.
And I'm happy with my fat and happy decision.
It's early on to actually say there's a connection between suicidal thoughts and semaglutides. But they need to get on this. I mean, it's one of many things they need to study about these drugs. But they need to get on it. They need to study these things quickly. I
have a tremendous amount of hope, optimistic hope, that semaglutides are going to be able to help a lot of people get out of what are a terrible spiral of
obesity
complications from obesity. But I do think it's still a little early. I don't want to be the tip of the spear that goes after taking the semaglutides without knowing really what the effects on these are, because I don't think we know yet. We really don't know.
Right.
And this needs to be studied a little bit more.
And there's an awful lot of people in Los Angeles who are taking them who are not obese, who just want to look a little better. That's going to be a big problem if these things cause suicidal thoughts and other side effects that we don't know about.
I am taking beef ribs on a weekly basis. And I'll tell you, there's never been a time where I've eaten a beef rib and been like, I want to kill myself afterwards. I just eat the beef rib. The thought I have is I need a little more barbecue sauce.
Exactly.
That's usually the only thought that I have.
I need to live longer so I can have more of these.
Oh, God, I love them. I'm ready to make some more. I bribed my neighbors to help me move some furniture, and they're high school kids. And I said, okay, whatever you guys want, I'll hook you up. And they looked at me and they said, you're a brisket. And I was like, you want me to make you a fucking brisket for helping me move furniture? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, all right.
Moving on, Martin Shkreli has got to surrender his Wu-Tang album copies.
Oh, I'm sorry. Moving on from semaglutides to other terrible things. Okay, let's move on from other terrible things.
Is this terrible? Former pharmaceutical executive Martin Shkreli, I can't really even say that with a straight face. Former scam artist, not even former, scam artist, Martin Shkreli.
There you go.
Must turn over his copies of the Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in Shaolin to comply with a preliminary injunction issued Friday morning.
So you're saying scam artist. I'm saying scam artist / asshole. Martin Shkreli.
So explain what he did for people who don't remember.
Oh, this guy, he basically took a low-cost, low-priced drug made by a single manufacturer, bought the company, and then raised the price, 100x, 200x?
Patent intact, so he was able to do that. They were the only supplier.
There's something interesting about saying, here's this weird supply-demand curve where I can own the supply side and jack the price up, but you're dealing with people's lives.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally the difference between life or death.
So people who could not afford their medication.
So he made a bunch of money, and then he went out and bought a bunch of stupid shit, including this Wu-Tang album, which is like the first, I think maybe not the only, but like NFT style file. There's only one copy in existence. And I believe, so what happened here? As part of his bankruptcy proceedings, he had to forfeit that or it went to auction. Some NFT collective bought this Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in Shaolin album, and they claim that he, quote, improperly retained copies of data and files from the album.
Because you can do that. Only the pointer is in the NFT. The actual data is not.
Exactly. This is the thing about digital work, is it turns out I can make an exact copy and nobody can tell the difference.
Over and over and over.
Yeah, exactly. More than once.
There's little Samsung thumb drives at his house that have this album.
Well, okay. So that's what's so fascinating, right? So I actually read the complaint because I got nothing else to do with my life. So I read sorry, not the complaint. I read the order that Judge Chen put out. And the order mandates that, one, he destroys all copies of that he has and certifies it. So he's got to certify it against the penalty of perjury.
This is not someone who's afraid of perjury, by the way.
Yeah, totally. He had perjury for breakfast. And then also has to say where he stored it, who he's shown it to, right? And all methods of transmission of it, which is kind of fascinating. I can't wait to read that. But it's just going to be like he put it on a fucking zip drive or some memory key, some garbage. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be as thorough as everywhere that it went, but some shitty Samba share probably changed the metadata on it. The creation date's wrong, like all sorts of crap. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. This is, I think, the first, at least big case I've seen over fighting over some NFT and its authenticity and who still owns it. Yeah, so we'll see. This guy's a fucking clown. I'm not.
It's the problem with all NFTs is that the link is in the NFT, but the actual data is not.
Problem yes, problem no. I mean, you can still say you own this copy of whatever, a Rembrandt, but I still have the pointer to it. You can still own it and do something with it yourself. Yeah. Having met and spent some time with one of the larger and very, very early collectors of digital art, meaning like mid 80s, it's really fascinating. Their approach, because they're worth a ton of money, their approach has been typically they don't want the NFT single copy. They want to display it as the artist intended and try to provide that experience for all to see, which I think is pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because there it's like you may have a specific like hardware apparatus, a projector or something on, but it's still digital art being displayed in a certain way, which I think is fascinating. Like I do think there's something to digital art.
By the way, I like that for real art, for things like the Codex, Da Vinci Codex. The fact that Bill Gates and company bought it from Arm & Hammer and then put it on tour for the world to see. That's great.
I still want an Enigma. I need an Enigma in my office, but they've gotten really fucking expensive in the past 15 years.
I can't believe it's only been 15 years. Well, I guess since the movie came out and made him famous. Enigma, for the listener, the Enigma is the Nazi encoding machine.
And decoding.
So they could send their messages out to their operatives in the field without other people seeing what they were saying.
Yeah.
And basically, because Turing found the way to break Enigma, he is sort of the forefather of modern general usage computing. He's the one who figured out how to do mechanical computing.
I mean, this is kind of crazy. There's a handful of people that I think don't get talked about enough. Turing is one of them. Lovelace is one of them. Anywho.
All right, we have to get out of here, but quickly before we do, have you seen or read anything good this last week?
Yes, I would be remiss if I didn't say that it would have to be the DNC.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the production quality was amazing. I mean, these guys should win an Emmy. They had like DJ Cassidy during Roll Call and Little John coming out, which I did not have on my bingo card. I wish I would have.
By the way, I don't think the states each knew what the other states were doing.
Even cooler.
Next time around, the states will try to outdo each other.
One up it? I mean, how do you one up that?
They'll find ways.
Like Jersey just brings in Springsteen to play in the aisles.
Do you remember the previous convention?
No.
It was done on Zoom because it was during the pandemic.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And each state got to do their own thing at their own famous location in their state. And I thought, oh my gosh, they're always going to do that. And of course they didn't, because now they're in a convention. They're back in a convention.
This kind of wins.
This was really spectacular.
It was super cool. I think all the speeches that I saw were incredible. I thought the Clintons still had it. I thought Bill was great, even with the teleprompter issues, got through it. Yeah. I loved hearing Barack Obama say that he's the only person, I think, dumb enough to follow Michelle Obama in speaking, which I thought was great. Seeing Walt speak was incredible. I thought even Doug crushed it. I thought he was really great to see speak. I sort of had this thought about midway through the week of conversation and just like watching something like this and smiling and laughing and not being grumpy or angry. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in it to make America happy again. Let's do it. I got like maybe 40 more trips around the sun. How about like I smile during them instead of not?
Exude a lot of joy. I mean, that was a very joyful convention, to be sure.
I thought it was fun. So I watched most of it delayed, but
I'm with you. They ought to get an Emmy for a best limited series.
I think they should get an Emmy for that. It was incredible.
It was great.
They should get an Emmy for best national convention. It's only awarded every couple of years. Last year, they're up against their corrugated cardboard convention. Those guys really crushed it.
Which wasn't televised.
No, it wasn't televised. No, but it's limited entry. It's hard to get tickets for. Anyway, how about you? What have you seen?
You've seen something super recent. I've seen something that was made a long time ago.
Yeah.
It is a documentary called The Wrecking Crew.
Oh, yeah. I've heard this is great.
An American documentary film directed by Denny Tedesco, the son of guitarist Tommy Tedesco. It covers the story of the Los Angeles-based group of session musicians known as The Wrecking Crew, famed for having played on numerous hit recordings throughout the 60s and early 70s.
Yeah.
Record companies happily supplied the public with new songs and musical groups, all packaged with artistic photographs and biographical profiles. Left out of the story was an important historical fact. The bands, in some cases, but not all, didn't play the instruments heard on their records.
Nuts.
Instead, the instruments were played by some amazing musicians with perfect tempo, pitch, and timbre. They were called The Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
This documents the work of the studio players who recorded the tracks for such hits as California Dreamin', These Boots Are Made for Walkin', Be My Baby, The Beat Goes On, Good Vibrations, and on and on and on. Interviews with producers, engineers, session musicians reveal the warmth and humor that allowed their collective talents to turn a simple chord chart into an international phenomenon.
I think my father saw this and told me about it, and it just sounds incredible.
There are these amazing musicians who
Yeah.
didn't want to tour, who didn't want to be touring musicians. They had kids they wanted to help raise.
Sure.
And they wanted to be stunningly talented people who played on records and never were part of a band.
I love that this existed for decades, and yet Milli Vanilli had to take all the heat. Just seems unfair. Just seems unfair. Anyway, I'll certainly check that out.
The Wrecking Crew on YouTube now. That is the episode.
Thank you for joining us for all this nonsense and truly terrible podcast from The Awful Company. Visit us on the web at nonsense.productions. I'm Jill.
I'm Jeff Parker.
If you like this program, please follow, download, subscribe, and like at Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, AntennaPod, iHeartRadio, Spotify, my favorite Overcast, wherever you may get your podcasts from.
Nonsense is initially recorded using Audacity, 32-bit float recording for the highest quality sound. Audacity, like 95% of everything we use at Nonsense, is free and open source. If you need to make high-quality recordings, check out Audacity. Special thanks to our floor director, Dennis Smith.
I record in 33-bit just to be a little better than Jeff, but I don't tell him.
That's why you sound so good.
Thank you, Dennis. We'll be here every Thursday morning for more nonsense. Please join us. That extra bit is what makes me so funny.